folks, welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, it is halfway through Cyber Monday. Wizards of the Coast launched their Magic 30th anniversary at noon Eastern time. I was told by about 12:36, about between 35 and 37 minutes later, it was marked as sold out or unavailable. And I'll report onto you all what the rumors appear to be, and all the conspiracy theories and all this silliness, and you all can make up your own decision, because no one really knows. And of course, if there's ever been a time in history where Wizards is going to be very tight-knit or closed-minded or closed on what really happened, this is probably going to be the most kept quiet results you'll ever see in history in Magic cards. So first, we can talk about the queue. Obviously, a lot of people are going to the website. Everybody was kind of just going to the add to cart. Everybody wanted to see how many you could do and how long was the wait. From what everybody told me, the wait was between 1 and 5 minutes, right at the initial launch where everybody was refreshing. And then I was told, I checked myself, by about 12:20, I went over to it to see if it was still in stock, and it just showed in stock. I went to the website, hit add to cart, see how many they could do. At the time, this is where it gets wishy-washy. At the time, I could hit add 5 to cart, and then I went to check out, and I clicked the button, and then it puts you in this little queue, and it said the queue was less than a minute, and it clicked the queue, then it clicked out of the queue. There was no lines or waiting or anything when I checked it about 20 minutes into it, and I just kind of left it there, and that's it. I maintained that I still refuse to purchase it, and I did not purchase any, and I stand by that, and I hope, it's sold out now, and there you go. So this is where it gets weird. So according to everybody, there was never any high demand. There was never any traffic. The website didn't flood or crash like the other secret layers or other Magic 30th countdown thing. Apparently, there's also a Singapore overseas Wizards ran seller account that I was told had around 800 or 900 or 1,000 units. One person sent me screenshots showing that they put 800 30th anniversaries for sale on this Singapore Wizards of the Coast seller account in Singapore. And I was looking at these screenshots. I couldn't make heads or tails of it. So if any of you are in Singapore, if you could comment the details on this, that'd be helpful. Apparently they put 800 for sale, and it's been up there for a couple hours. And somebody told me it was 791 out of 800 are still available as of the filming of this video. And they had sold 9 out of 800 or something. I don't know. This is what a screenshot. And again, it could have been faked or photoshopped, but I just want to report that I thought that was kind of a weird thing. And I also thought 800 or even under 1,000, I thought was a very low number for a whole country to be offered. I thought that whole thing was a little strange. So I want to report that interesting tidbit. The next thing, obviously, at this point in time, we don't know if they only, instead of having 50 or 100,000 available, we don't know if they only sold 5 or 10,000. Maybe they cut it real low. We don't know if they literally purposely pulled it down early, which seems to be the #1 conspiracy theorist idea right now, where essentially, after about 20, 30 minutes in, by 30-minute marker, the sales had slowed down to almost nothing, and the theory is that by 12:35, 12:39, they pulled it down because essentially they had captured the majority of all the sales and nothing else was coming in, and they didn't want to look bad. That's another theory that's being spun around. All I can tell everybody is, at this point now, the only real way to get a vibe of how many really sold and how many is going to be out there is going to be over the next 1 month, 2 month, 90 days, 6-month marker, when we look how many people are flipping on eBay. So I would expect by the time this video goes live, you're going to see a bunch of people flipping them on eBay for $1,500, $1,999, $3,000. You're going to see a lot of people start throwing them up there. I don't know why. If you're planning just to flip this, I don't really know what you're thinking, because everybody didn't want to pay $1,100. So if you're flipping it for $2,000 to $3,000, I don't know what the fuck you're thinking, because if nobody wanted to pay $1,100, who the hell is going to pay $2,000, $3,000? So I didn't pay, and I refuse to pay $1,100 for 4 packs. I'm not going to buy the max 5 and spend $5,500 with tax for 20 booster packs of reprint proxies. that, in my opinion, don't even look anywhere near as good as the originals. So I don't know why you would tie up $5,500 over the next 30, 45 days and then finally get it. And then, this crap takes forever to get, even with Wizards, even though they said they'll get it quick. You know how it is. It ain't gonna be quick. So you're tying up $5,000, and then you got to flip it, and you're going to try to make it. I don't know. Nobody wanted to pay the $1,100. I don't understand who's going to flip this on eBay for $2,000, $3,000, and who's going to pay that. Nobody wanted to pay the other price, so I don't get that whole thing. So over the next 6 months, we're going to know. We're going to get a good idea of how many sealed boxes are being flipped, how many have been sold on eBay, how many are relisted on eBay, how many of the actual bidding, how many of the single cards start showing up on eBay, especially for rares or retro rares. And, some people said, well, they really just didn't sell anywhere near that they expected to. And they had to pull that shit down before it became another news viral thing of a failure. And that does make sense if that is the case, but we don't know. We're never going to know unless somebody somehow leaks some sort of hidden internal documentation or recordings or something illegal hits the market and somebody gets fired or sued. That's the only way we're really going to know. Yeah, that's really how it unfolded. Obviously, people always ask, well, Rudy, what's your opinion? What do you personally think? I don't know. Because I know at the end of the day, a lot of people in this economy will do anything to make money. So there's going to be a good chunk of the population that's going to say, hey, no matter how much people hate this, most people are going to buy it. And there's going to be certain cards that even the people who refuse to buy it are going to want to buy a single card. So there's going to be a group of people who are going to buy this, in my opinion, a quarter to a half of the transactions, to either keep it sealed or simply flip it for some quick tendies because of how bad the economy is. So I think that is pretty accurate. I think that will hold true. But my instinct right now, just watching now that's over with, I kind of feel like they sold a lot less than they expected because of all the heat they took. And if I had to just make a guess with absolutely no evidence except my haircut and my ex, if I had to pick something, I'm going to have to go in the camp of the conspiracy theorists, and I'm going to have to pick they shut it down early. Because if I was internally at Wizards and they would say, this is our big moment, I would definitely say, let it run 30 minutes. And let's see what happens after 30 minutes. And by 30 minutes in, and the flow of orders either tapers off to next to nothing, or the flow of orders almost stops. Yeah, you're gonna have to pull the plug, because the risk and the danger of this thing being labeled as a failure or sitting all afternoon or night, it's far too dangerous. The news media, the markets, Wall Street has the amount of attention and publicity and attacks they've received from all over is so off the chart. They can't risk it. So I think that's because, again, if I was sitting in that room and they were telling me that, that's what that would be the decision I would make, because so much is riding on it. It has to. Now, if it's sold out in a couple minutes, like that 30th Magic Countdown Secret Lair thing did, which actually looked really cool. And honestly, if that was available, I think it was like $100, or was it $150? I don't know that when you got like one pack with each year on it, it was like 30 years and 30. I just thought that was really cool. I wish I actually was able to buy one of those, or I had one of those, because I actually thought that was cool. I think all the little numbers in the packs I just thought it was a neat thing. But I mean, that was extreme demand. We saw the website have problems, oversold, people's orders were in limbo. We saw true demand. And none of that happened with this. So I guess the question remains, did they really print 50 to 100,000? Because I was in the camp that they made like 100,000 of these little tiny boxes, and their goal was to sell 50 to 75,000, and then keep a reserve of a couple pallets for future GPs, events, and special drafts, and beta drafts, and kind of thing. That's what I would do. But with how quick they pulled it down, with no high stress or demand on the website, it doesn't look like a whole lot sold. And if that's the case, maybe it actually worked and there was a good message sent, and it's going to help them realize that they can't do anything they want. I don't know. This is all speculation. We truly don't know, folks. But that's the end of the saga, ladies and gentlemen. And now we wait to see how much shows up in the next 6 months. and we wait to see if some people are correct, where all these things are going to be worth a fortune because nobody bought it, or we wait to see if, well, the market actually stands by the rejection and it moves forward and it actually does fail. There's only time's going to tell. There's nothing I can do, nothing you all can do. All we have to do now is sit back and wait and look for the data and to see what, I'm sure you'll see what the first Black Lotus or retro frame Black Lotus sells for is going to be, obviously if a retro frame Black Lotus sells for $10, $15, $20,000, well, I mean, obviously, well, that's going to be pretty amazing, and I don't know who would pay 10 to 20,000 for a brand new printed Black Lotus. That's not I don't know. What a story, man. I guess that's the end of all this, and I'll be interested to see you all's comments below, but I guess this is the end. We're closing the chapter, we're moving forward, and that's it, and I don't know, folks. That's it. Moving on.